Tommy, you are very welcome to episode 3 of the TAPiTAG podcast. So you think you're our very first guest.
Wow.
So it's a privilege to have you.
Well, it's a privilege to be here.
Thanks for coming.
Thanks very much for
We're shooting today from the at Sheraton Athlone Hotel, and we are in the purple penthouse. Just for you, Tommy. Yeah. So I think, look, what we're trying to do is we're going to meet people who are, let's say, having an influence in the area, who's having an influence with people who are networking, and helping companies network. So we thought there's no better man than Tommy Hogan, CEO of Athlone Chamber.
Thank you very much.
So tell us, how did you what's the background? How did you get here?
Okay, well, originally from a farm. Oh, everything I'm going to say has relevance. So I'm from a farm. I grew up on a farm and worked on a farm for quite a while. Long story short, we have distant relatives in Argentina who introduced us to a product called dulce de leche, which was made from milk. And they had told us, look, why don't you see about making your milk into a luxury caramel sauce? So we did that. So the family set up a company in the mid-90s. We brought machinery over from Argentina. Set up the business called Clara Fields with the view to using our milk to make caramel sauce, dulce de leche, in Ireland. And that turned out to be quite a good success. And we branched out into other types of caramels, and we opened up markets across Ireland, Britain, Europe and the Middle East. That went on till about 2022, and then I decided it was time for a change. So I looked around, saw the job for the CEO of the Chamber of Commerce, saw the job description, ticked most of the boxes. Yeah, I'd give that a go. Put through a pretty rigorous selection process, and luckily came out on top.
Came out good. Well, I think it was the right choice, Tommy. That's from my that's from my perspective, anyways.
Mine too.
So what inspired you to take on that job? So in terms, you mentioned there about, like, you looked at the job spec. A lot of things tick the boxes. What inspired you to take that job?
I like the fact there was a lot of engagement with people and supporting business, and coming from running my own business, I knew what that was like. So I thought it was a good opportunity to give something back, if you like.
Very good.
But also, I like engaging with people, and I could see by the nature of the job, there's a lot of people and engagement involved in it. Sales would have been a big part of running my own company. So you engage with people, and people buy from people you like.
Absolutely.
So I think I'm decent with people. So I like that side of it as well. It's just a whole new challenge as well. And in researching for the job, I found Athlone to be an amazing town. It was on my doorstep, and being a non-Athlone, I was blown away by the strength of the town, the positives that were here. So it just seemed, this seems like a fantastic opportunity.
And I suppose, look, I'd say I'm the same as well. I've come from Dublin. I'm down to Athlone. I'm here, probably the guts of 2 years, and I have to agree with you on that as well. It's an absolutely brilliant town. Great people. It's a really good place to be, positive place to be, isn't
Absolutely. I found it coming in, people so welcoming. Even though you say you're from Offaly, you're from Dublin, they forgive you that. So,
well, probably you get away more Offaly than I do with Dublin.
Everyone's got an accent.
This is true. What so although, let's say, we have lots of positives here, what kind of challenges have you faced as CEO of the Chamber of Commerce since you started?
On a personal level, I guess the not being a native was somewhat of a challenge. Bit of a blessing at times too. But not knowing people, not knowing businesses intimately, even down to street names, can be a bit of a challenge. So there's a learning curve there for you when you come to a new place, a new job. So I suppose from a personal point of view, that's been the biggest challenge for me.
Okay. And let's say for businesses in the area since you've joined, what have you seen as the biggest challenge or biggest positives? We love to keep things positive as well, Tommy. So what do you see as that?
Positives first. I mean, on a day like today, Athlone's an absolutely amazing town.
Just nowhere better.
You're looking out at a fantastic river. We have so many natural assets here that can't be copied or replicated in other towns somewhere else. We've the river, we've the castle, we're centrally located. There's so many positives. I suppose the downside is it's not just Athlone, it's a national thing. Housing is a huge problem. But again, on the positive side, Athlone has an awful lot of housing approved. So it's a matter of getting that built and get the infrastructure in place. There's a willingness and a commitment at the county council level to get that done. That's great. We're designated a regional growth centre. There's towns all around the country would love to have these opportunities.
Absolutely.
We have them. So let's work on it and maximise it.
I think you see that in the town there at the moment as well, the amount of redevelopment that's going on. It looks absolutely fantastic. It's going to be brilliant.
Between the two projects, the one that's been done and the one that was done recently on Church Street, it's an investment of, I think, €8 million.
Incredible.
In addition to the bridge that's been built. Again, there's massive investment in infrastructure here in Athlone that other towns would love to have.
Yeah.
So let's sell that.
Absolutely. And the bridge itself, actually, good. Well, for mentioning it, it's looks fantastic first off, but it is the amount of people that are using it now.
Yeah,
I know my business partner Ivan, who's probably at the back of the camera there now, he's used it quite a few times now.
Good.
So yeah,
Good.
He says he likes cycling. In terms of the chamber itself, how's that helping companies in terms of economic development, and helping companies that say grow, I suppose?
Yeah, so our tagline is advancing business together. So it's all about collaboration. So we're here to promote business, to support one another. The networking is a huge side of it. Direct connections with people. Like I've in the last 2 weeks made several connections with people where someone would ring me up and say, I'm looking for such a skill.
Yeah.
Do you know someone that provides that service? Yeah, absolutely. And we hook them up.
Yeah.
So we do that directly. We have very successful, well-attended networking events every month, as you know.
Yes.
And this is a wonderful opportunity for people to come together and find out who else is in the town.
Yeah.
And afterwards you see people coming together and I want your service. I've been looking for this service and I didn't know it was here, and it's here on my doorstep. This is great. And we also emphasize people bring your business cards so you can connect. A lot of people run out of them or forget them.
This is true.
And there's a TAPiTAG to solve that problem.
I'm sure you're using. We are actually using. I am. Fairness, yeah.
Very good. It's really, really good.
I think for us, and there is. You've hit the nail on the head in terms of businesses working with businesses in the area, and the events absolutely help that.
Yeah.
We've seen it. We've got our proximity marketing, which would be Google Review or TripAdvisor. If you're in the hotel here in the Sheraton, pop down to reception, or 8 different locations around the hotel where you can leave a 5-star review. Same, let's say Bastion Kitchen. There's loads of businesses using our review tags, or the likes of RBK using our digital business cards. It's fantastic, and we met all these guys through the chamber.
Great.
Which for you is obviously music to your ears.
Absolutely.
But for somebody who's, I get called a blow-in. If you're a blow-in, I didn't know anybody down here.
Yeah.
My way of getting to connect with people was through the chamber. And it's testament to obviously yourself and Saoirse, and obviously the people who are working before then as well, of how that's grown and how well it's run then too. So it is fantastic.
Would you say that that's a good selling point then for the chamber?
Absolutely. Like if you're not in the chamber, Athlone Chamber of Commerce, you're missing out massively. Just for us, let's say as a young enough company, we're 3 years old, to be speaking with companies who are big multinationals.
Yeah.
Sodero, as an example, like fantastic. It's priceless, and you get face to face with CEOs of these big multinational companies who you can absolutely take some experiences from or some learnings, and that's what it's all about is getting those learnings.
You can imagine trying to get to those companies through a receptionist.
Impossible.
And there's just layers of barriers put in front of you.
Impossible.
We open that door straight away.
So if you are either a well-established company or a startup who has just come to Athlone, get into the chamber. You got to get into the chamber. So, and I think this Thursday there's an absolutely fantastic event on the we'll talk about that in a little bit there, okay. Tommy, but we'll keep that there.
Yeah.
How is again with TAPiTAG? We're constantly trying to evolve to innovation, bringing new technologies. We're just about to launch our new app, which has took a year to develop. We're using digital business cards. We're really pushing social in terms of TikTok, and we'll talk about that as well, Tommy. But how is the chamber, let's say, adapted to innovation and new technologies? What do you guys do?
Well, you kind of hit the nail on the head there. We've got a fantastic digital marketing footprint. We've good digital marketing people in the office. You've mentioned Saoirse, and she deserves a huge lot of credit for what she's done. She's hiding somewhere on me built. So it's important we've really capitalized on the digital marketing side of things. If you're not in that sphere now, you're just not in business.
Yes.
So we've maximized our reach on that. We're growing. I did the figures recently. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but it's very substantial, our growth rate over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
It's kind of an interactive thing in that the personal relationships we build with people drives into the social media.
Yeah.
And that grows the social media, but the growth of the social media, the organic growth, also drives people to us.
Yes.
So that's ultimately what you want.
Yeah.
You want people to come to you because it's people that ultimately make the decisions and things.
Yeah.
So you want that engagement.
Is there anything to be said as well, Tommy, about your recent TikToks, or do you want to comment on that? I think there's a couple of cameos there that you've put in that have got a lot of likes, by the way.
Yeah, we have. They have done well, and it's good to show the other side of things. I mean, you can always get this perception that the Chamber of Commerce is a stuffy place, and it's not. It's not. It's a fun place to work. The job is absolutely fantastic, but showing the human element behind work as well.
Yeah.
That's fun. And we do it on a Friday when you're winding down for the week, so it makes life that more enjoyable. Absolutely.
And I think you touched on digital marketing. There's it's massive. We see it as a massive area for TAPiTAG. We're dealing with 72 different countries, well 73. We just onboarded. Yeah. From starting something 3 years ago, let's say in a bedroom, to now having the old a floor in the old RTE building in St. Mary's Square, to shipping to 72 countries, it's absolutely massive. Our reach is only massive through digital marketing.
Yeah.
And it's so important. Is there anything, let's say, in terms of that you could advise people or companies that, let's say, you guys are doing, that could help them grow or get a bigger reach, let's say either outside of Athlone or outside of Ireland, and grow their market that way?
Good question. I think the global reach of digital marketing has to be capitalised on.
Yeah.
I mean, you can have information spread around the world in seconds.
Yeah.
So if you're starting up in business, there's a lot of things you can do. Join the chamber is the first thing you should do.
Absolutely.
But there's a lot of if you're looking to maybe have your business grow initially as that little acorn, there's a lot of supports around about the Neo grants and things like that. Good supports from the county council. So they need to be maximised. But then to have that global reach, you have that digital marketing aspect of things that needs to be really, really capitalised. And you can have, I had business in my own company previously, business in the Middle East.
Yeah.
And I'm able to communicate with them, to their customers, through digital marketing.
It's fantastic.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah, it has to be done.
Yeah.
As I said, we'd be lost without it. And that's across Google Ads, it's across Facebook, it's across Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Like this as a podcast, will go out to YouTube. We'll probably place an ad on it, and it'll go out to reach thousands upon thousands of people. Wow. Maybe millions, Tommy, because you're on it. but
if you shut down, you'll be demonetized.
I suppose the other piece as well, and probably the next question I'm going to ask is around just advice for new companies, or let's say a new startup coming into Athlone, and what advice you'd give them. And something for us, just before you answer that, something for us that we found brilliant was reaching out to the college. Getting some really, really strong candidates from the college that could come in and help us in whatever kind of walk of life that they're on, or what, like they're on a journey themselves, whether they're finishing college or they've just finished college, and they have some really great skills that they can come in and give any company. But what advice, you can talk about TUS as well, but what advice would you give to any company, new company starting in Athlone?
You've hit the nail on the head there with TUS. Again, this goes back to the question you asked me of what strengths we have.
Yeah.
We have a university in the
Yeah.
I mean, that's not to be pleased. It's another huge plus for us, and a huge resource to be drawn on. You're right. Anyone starting up here should engage with the university, engage with ourselves, engage with all the other providers of supports, like, as I mentioned, the LEO and the county council and so forth. We can also be, apart from just joining us to get the word out there, we can connect you. If you're caught like a blow-in like yourself, we can
ourselves.
Yeah. We can connect you with someone, or whatever skills or support you're missing. So they'd probably be the first things you could and should look at.
Yeah.
Again, there's a multitude of things you can do, but they'd be the first box you need to take.
And you mentioned as well the local Leo.
Yeah.
Who again, incredible advice that you can get from there. There's some really important grants that you can get as well as a startup. So to definitely use their services.
There's mentorship to be got as well. As the grants that you mentioned, there's mentorship that can be invaluable in filling a skills gap as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. In terms of from your previous role and your current role, what have you learned about yourself as a CEO, and what advice could you give me as a CEO?
Okay, never stop learning.
Yes.
Lifelong learning is important. It doesn't have to be academic, but keep your eyes and ears open. Keep an open mind to the developing world.
Yeah.
I know if you're on the cutting edge of technology, you'll be on the technological side, but there's other aspects of life. Yeah. You also need downtime. They need to switch off.
Yes.
That's important too. And I make sure to do that.
Do you?
Yeah.
How would you switch off, Tommy? What's your go-to to switch off?
My go-to to switch off, I'm a second dan black belt in karate.
Oh, way.
Yeah. So I like to get the kick.
We can put the beeps in here. Yeah.
So that's a bit of crack. Now, I haven't done it much lately because I've been hurt, not because I've been busy.
Yeah.
But I like to do that. That's a great way to burn off steam.
Absolutely.
And if you go in with your mind full of problems, go into a class, you will very quickly forget them.
Excellent.
Yeah.
That's
when the class is over, you remember, oh yeah, that's what I was worrying about.
Yeah.
And you're back to square one. But at least you've had that hour and a half of downtime. So that's important.
Excellent.
So yeah, I'd recommend that as a
downtime. That's
CEO.
It is true though, because you get so caught up in, I suppose, the whole sphere of everything that's going on within a company that it is difficult to switch off sometimes, and rest is important.
It is. You need to switch. I mean, you plug in your phone to charge it. You need to do the same with your brain.
Yeah, very good.
You need to give your brain a chance to recharge.
Yeah.
And you can't keep it going. Easier said than done when you're running a business, but you can't keep going all the time. You need to have that little bit of downtime.
No, that's great advice. Really good advice. You had an event on, I think it was back towards the start of the year, Women in Business.
Yeah.
In TUS. I thought one of the best events I've ever been to. And that's me being extremely honest on it.
Yeah.
I took a lot from it. It was great to see so much support in it. And really inspiring. Some really great stories, some really great journeys. People get that in the chamber. What events have you got coming up? Are you going to tap that as well, Tommy? That's what I want to know, because it was incredible.
Okay, thanks for that. There's a lot of work put into that. It was great to have the levels of engagement from men and women. It was obviously women in business, but there were a lot of learnings for anybody from that event on how to run a business. And I think downtime may have been mentioned, I can't remember. But we have our monthly networking events coming up right throughout the year. We're booked up to January, would you believe?
Fantastic.
Because they're that good.
Yeah, it's true.
It is true.
It's true.
And we're always looking for hosts for these events as well. They're scheduled for up to January. We have a golf event coming up in May. This is just a chance for people to engage in a much more relaxed setting. Yeah. And hopefully, if we can get a day like today, we'll be elected. Yeah. We've another one of the public forum sessions coming up. As you mentioned, the Women in Business is part of a quarterly suite of events we're running called the public forum sessions. To be a different theme around that. We have a key member of the cabinet coming down to us in June as well to give a presentation on where they see the economy going, and we're putting a panel of speakers together.
Fantastic.
That's not finalised, so I can't really talk about that in detail just yet. Of course, then at the end of the year, we'll have our annual awards.
Which is a great night.
It was a great night.
It's always a great night. We've been to two now. It's absolutely brilliant.
Night.
Yeah, it is.
So that'll be at the end of the year. So we have a very busy schedule of a calendar of events coming up for the year.
Fantastic. Well, Tommy, that is us. I absolutely really appreciate you coming in.
Thanks, Mark.
It's been fantastic. It's great to know you do karate as well, especially if I need you in town at some stage.
Well, we need for self-defense now.
Yeah. Tommy, thanks a million. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate it.